Aloha everyone! We are not in Hawaii! Anyways, Hawaii comes up to mind because today we are going to cut open and make a beautiful jackfruit into our vegan pulled pork with a homemade barbecue sauce. We don't really know what we're doing, we're kind of winging it, but that's kind of life too. So this is a jackfruit. This is a rather small one. They grow on a tree, tend to be maybe a foot from the trunk is where they really grow, and this is a small one, but they can get massive and get huge, up to like 50 pounds at least. So this one's a really ripe one. It's really soft. So this one came from Mexico. And so what you need is that you need a knife that can get full of latex just in case. So just kind of find a crappy knife if you can, that's still sharp. And then you need a type of olive oil to rub over it because the latex inside that kind of protects the fruit will get all over otherwise. And then a pair of gloves because you want to protect your hands, otherwise you're going to be peeling off stickiness for quite a while. So we don't know how well this is going to go. It's been years since I've done this, and these ladies, it's their first time too. So here we go. Oh, I'm going to put more olive oil in it first. So jackfruit is a really sweet fruit if you let it ripen. But it also can be a really young one if you, and kind of more of a non-sweet, I would say, if you pick it more unripe. But this one is a really sweet one. It should be. Oh guys, maybe it's actually not as ripe as what I thought it was, which that can be good too. Okay, so this is the inside. So these are going to be the little parts that we're going to peel off and we're going to end up cooking, and then they kind of become tenderized, and that's kind of what it gives it its pulled pork texture. If you look at that. And then inside, if we go deeper, oh, there's no latex really, guys. Oh, here's more color. So here's the seed, and you can actually cook with that in kind of how you would another nutter seed. You can roast it, or you can put it in other aspects. I've never used it yet. And this is the part that's around. That is its fruit, they would say. So this is the part we're going to keep for the actual jackfruit pulled pork. And this is actually where where juicy fruit gum gets its flavor from. So if you smell it, you can eat it too.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. So should I see?
So it has a consistency that's kind of chewy, but it's really, really sweet at the same time. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna take the outside of the skin, or I would say the outside, yeah, the skin, and get to the flesh part. It's really sweet too, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Or this part on the outside is what makes the good, I think, the pulled pork. But not everybody maybe does that, so.
So you wouldn't need a sweetener with this one.
So we can take the fruit and the outside, so we're gonna use pretty much the whole thing. Except for, sorry, our video camera lady wants to eat some at the same time. We're gonna try to, maybe we'll incorporate something with the seeds too. So we're just gonna go play and make and create, and we have a really giant one. This was Lois, and Edward is up there. We had to name them because they're a huge part of our lives. So yeah, you can order jackfruit from your local health food store. You can just ask them if they don't have it actually there to see if they can special order it for you. That's what I did at my co-op. So we're just gonna have some fun, and we'll see you along the way in a little bit. So we've been processing this jackfruit for about, both of them, we had one that was like this big, for about an hour and a half now. And that's the outside portion that we took out. There's probably some that you could cabbage through, but we kind of got lazy because we're getting tired. And then now this is actually the fruit where the seeds come in. So this is an example right here of when it's cut open. So we just go through and we process that out. And then this is the part in between that we're also going to use as for kind of the main source of meat while putting some fruit in, depending on how sweet we want to make it. So we're just going to end up chopping this all up too, and then putting this together, and we'll saute it in our homemade barbecue sauce.
Ooh.
So, thanks for joining.
Bye.
So we're now in the kitchen after we totally gone through and prepared the jackfruit. So Charlene is actually, you can come this way, is chopping up the actual fruit part so we can put that into our jackfruit pulled pork as well. And then that's right here. And then we have all of it, the rest of it shredded here that was pre-shredded from the actual fruit itself. We didn't do any of this. That we'll throw in. And then we made a homemade barbecue sauce that we followed a recipe, but we kind of didn't at the same time. So this is what it's consisting of. So we put a jar of diced tomatoes, a small jar of pasta or tomato paste, excuse me. We put 3 teaspoons or tablespoons of tamari, or you can do a soy sauce. We put 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce, vegan style. And then we did 3 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar with the mother. And then we just did a little bit of honey, like a teaspoon, and a little teaspoon of molasses too, because it's gonna be so sweet already.
I think that's maple syrup.
Oh, what did I say?
Honey.
Oh, maple syrup, whoopsies. And then we did 2 tablespoons of chili powder, 2 tablespoons of spiced paprika, and then same thing with basil and the same thing with oregano. And then we added a little bit of liquid smoke to top it off because this is like the sealer of all the deal. It's like the cat's meow in this barbecue sauce, just saying. So this is what it looks like because we blended it in the Vitamix. And it smells just as good as it looks, if not better. So, okay, that's our sauce. And I'll post the link below for you guys. So if you want to follow it, and then you can kind of spice it up to whatever you want as well.
Perfect.
So we poured it in.
Hey, Marcy, you're on.
So we already poured it in. So we have this big pot. Lori, what kind of pot is this?
Ceramic.
A ceramic one. We did a really tall one because we're going to cook it on low to medium. But just in case if it decides to get a little crazy, it's not going to steep over the top, which it won't. So then we're going to turn it on low, which I don't know how to do this on your one, but that's okay. We'll do that in a minute. And then we're going to add this bad boy.
Wow.
It's actually a lot, guys.
Wow.
And then we're gonna mix it around and we're gonna let it simmer. And we might even have to make some more barbecue sauce because it looks like we have an abundant amount of fruit in here. So, okay.
All right.
So good.
See you soon. Marcy.
Hi, guys. So, I told you we were making jackfruit pulled pork. And we are, but this is our experiment number 1 back in the mainland. We did this in Hawaii, whole nother experience. So when we came here, we just have to re-experience it again. And so we have just decided to kind of put it all together. So we have a little soupiness right now, but it's going to be cooking. And we're going to believe it's going to be absorbed. So if you look at it, we just put a lot of barbecue sauce in because we're kind of barbecue sauce fans right now. And then we're going to add this fruit in too to kind of spice up life a little bit with a little more sweetness. But 30 pounds of jackfruit is making actually quite a bit. So we're excited to see what it turns out. When it all comes together. So yeah, one step at a time. So we're out of the kitchen and we are outside. So we ended up not taking any more video footaging from the last part that you just saw of cooking the jackfruit. And I didn't want to end it there because that just would be kind of cruel or just not a very good ending, and not like this one is probably any better. But all of us girls just ended up kind of divvying whatever was made, and we just all enjoyed it separately. Some people made a vegan pulled pork that was on like a bun, just like how you would eat pulled pork. I put mine in my salads with avocado because that is my favorite, or you could just eat it plain. But I'll post some links below so you can get an idea of kind of what to do with it if you're unsure of what to do. And I also just, guys, want to encourage you to get a jackfruit. You can talk to your local grocery store. They could probably order you one in. If you're around more of a co-op or a natural food store, that's probably going to be your best bet because they're going to probably work with you a little bit better because they're smaller. But it was just so much fun. And so I hope you guys can take that adventure and really get to enjoy the fruit as well, because the fruit is just a really great fruit to eat separately and not put it into barbecue stuff. But it's like I said, it's where juicy fruit gets its sweet flavor from. So yeah, so I'm so glad that you guys could watch this video. It's kind of our first one putting together something with more plant-based cooking, but it was just It's just so fun, and I hope you guys can join me for another one. I bet you guys got more laughs than probably any educational aspect out of it, but that's okay. So until the next time, guys, have a great, great day. It's summer, hopefully where you are too, unless you're watching this video years down the road, which that's kind of cool too. So either way, take care, and we'll see you out on the next time.